Patty, I know that, you had Paige Parker. You said you didn't want to go to one pitcher ever again. You've had to throw Sam a lot here lately. I know you don't want to do that. So how's your pitching going into the Texas game? Do you think others are ready to go besides Sam?
They're ready to go. Game one, I think everybody knows pitchers or coaches throw their best. Um, Game two, we are going to tag team it, and they're going to have to be their best. But if it's a winnable game and I can get Sam Landry in there to close it, if we're not having success in game two, that's what we did on Saturday. I don't like doing that, but she's begging for it. She wants to do anything she can to help the team. So if needed, we'll do that, but we shouldn't need that. And then depending on how Sam feels, Paige Parker was a different story. Paige Parker was every game, like a 3-game series. She pitched every single game until she couldn't anymore. And then postseason, she pitched every game in the regional, every game. Maybe not the first game in the regional, but every other game, super regional, and every game but one at the World Series. And that was a whole different level. What we're doing with Sam, they're doing with Pickens at Tennessee, except they're throwing her consecutive games, like starting her first inning of the first game and then pitching her the second game and the third game. So it's happening everywhere, but I mean, there's a fine line to how far we would go.
Go, Jesse. Patty, we've talked a lot about the offense last few weekends, but when you look back against Mississippi State, what was important? What stood out to you just about the way the offense played, especially those last couple of games, and how important was it to get some rhythm going into this series?
It was good to see this team start to build at bats off each other. So when they score, I think one of the iconic was their leadoff first game, just hitting a monster bomb and just doing a little bat flip and her little dance step to home plate. We all saw it. Pick comes up, does the same exact thing, and that set the tone for the weekend, where they were bowing up. You score, we're going to score right after you, and then we're going to score more. And if you score again, we're going to score more. That was the feeling in the dugout. They're not saying that out loud. It was the feeling that I got from the dugout. Their mindset was, we're just going to keep answering until they can't catch us.
How important is the team kind of showing that heading into this pitching staff and what stands out about that?
It's important because we've had a couple tough weekends, and this was the first time. And I love Sam Ricketts, so I'm not saying this out of Mississippi State has not been swept by any team in SEC conference play. So that's saying something about their toughness as well. But for us to be able to pull that off was wonderful for our morale and our confidence and our pitching staff, and also the chase that we're in. We don't talk too much about it, but we do understand we're in the chase.
You talked on Sunday about having so much more. You still want to be able to teach this team.
Yeah.
How important is, I don't know if the Alabama week this last week, with it being a Monday and shortening the week, but not having the midweeks, having the extra practice day to continue to grow as you go through these last 2 weekends into postseason?
Yeah, it's helped a lot. And the one thing that I have learned is I would try to get all my midweeks done as soon as possible so that we can have those full weeks in the SEC, because you really need a breath. You do need a breath. It's really a hard-fought series, whoever you're playing. So I think just for us, if I can do that, I can teach more, I can coach more. That there's still, I am shocked that this is our last home regular season series. I'm shocked. And I'm still we still have to cover. I'm like, what have we been doing? We've been teaching. It's been a constant merry-go-round of learning and questions and put it on the field, bring it back. We need to do this different. We need to do that different. How can this was good. This needs to be different. So there's just been really a just ton load of teaching and questions and practice time and trying to get it, try to learn it. And I'm really proud of them. I think one thing that people, they're feisty, and people like, but they can bow up when they want to. And they did this weekend, and I think that was just because they were a little frustrated that they didn't do it at Alabama, because they believe our scores were so close that they believe if they would have, they could have walked out of there looking different.
Mason?
Patty, obviously the veteranness of their pitching staff is one thing, but what else kind of stands out on paper about this matchup?
Power. They've got power, big hitters. They've got speed, very well balanced, very athletic, good arms in the outfield. Great catcher, one of the best. They've got it all. So this is a huge challenge for us. We're going to have some success off of their pitching staff, have a good game plan, stick to it, not get too high, not get too low, just keep staying in the game, staying ahead of the game the best that we can, both with our minds and with the scoreboard.
Go James, then we'll bounce to Bob.
Coach, you mentioned before this season that you were going to have fun being able to really coach again after graduating that great class. I mean, up to this point now, I mean, what have you liked about this team? What have you learned about this team? What's been the process for you throughout that experience?
I feel like they're all freshmen, in the way of you're a high school teacher and you're teaching freshman calculus, and you have to start from the beginning, and you got to kind of make your way to get them ready for calculus too. What a dumb analogy this is, but it's really, I have a lot of fun with them. I can really let my hair down and be myself and joke with them and laugh with them. And I feel connected to sometimes more than others. Some others are their personalities are all quite different. But the learning curve is just constant. It's constant. And I just want them to walk off this field when it's all said and done saying, I learned a ton. I gave it my all. I mean, I know what Sooner fans are saying, what their expectations are. I am so proud of what these guys have done thus far. And I don't know if I even said it out loud to you all, but never would I ever believe that we would be tied for second in the SEC with this team that we have, and a new pitching staff, and a completely new infield with the exception of Sid Sanders, a broken down Ella Parker, and Cassidy Pickering and Nellie leading us, a freshman captain. We have a freshman captain. That tells the whole story. So I'm just so proud of them and what they've continued to fight and trust our coaching staff. And some are getting this playing time they want, some are not, and there's frustration. You can feel it, but the goal and the teaching side is be a good teammate, because it will pay off in one way or another. So they're just really embracing the championship mindset.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, that they don't know what they don't know. Do they still feel like freshmen? Are they starting to truly understand what this next month and a half is really going to be?
Yeah, I think I need to share more. I think I said this too. We went to Alabama, and I'm like, well, we're kind of rivals. We're not in the same conference, but we've been rivals. I should have shown them what this rivalry really looks like. It's a respectable rivalry. It's not dirty or anything, but I need to do a better job of making them understand what this weekend is going to feel like as well. And then going to Florida, we have history with them in the postseason. So a lot is coming at us in the next 2 weeks, and I am vowing to make sure that they have a good understanding of what this could feel like and what it's going to look like. But we've already experienced it, so I don't know that anything's going to truly shock them. But I would say when in the fall, they were absolutely freshmen. Now their improvement levels, even each week, are improving, and players like Cheney Helton are starting to hit solid. Riley Zakay doesn't get in a lot, but she is hitting bombs at practice. I mean, there's players that are vying to get in, but you have to still be better than Pickering. You still have to be better than Abby Dayton defensively in center field. You know, you're still having to beat out some very good players to find your space, and that's the hard part. Sometimes when you're young, is you don't understand it, but you just got to be a good teammate through it until it's your time. When your time is called, be ready.
For Faber.
Yeah.
I will not be answering questions to anyone that walks through the door late. You are tardy, sir, but I will, because you are a good student, I will.
If I need to stay for detention and write words on the class.
If you had your
board, I'm
computer,
tired,
I wouldn't
yeah.
have this problem, but you're
This
using your
is
phone
true.
only now, so.
Patty, I don't know if you saw that, I'm sure you did, about the Cal Stanford crowd the other day.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know what happened with y'all just a couple weeks ago and then a couple years ago against Texas. Has there been any more discussion about doing anything with the game at a different spot to try to maybe top that?
When it got popular with, it was Nebraska volleyball, I know Joe was talking about, we're making some changes in the football stadium, and we could nudge a little here and there and maybe create that. That was a long time ago, so I probably need to revisit that, especially now, because we like to take claim for big moments. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, but yeah, because that's pretty cool. It really would be interesting to see like a full stadium, what it would look like, how many people would really show up. I think they had, was it 15?
I think it was
Around
13.
there.
A little
13.
a little under 14, yeah.
So I mean, even if you put grandstands out at Hall of Fame Stadium, we might be able to do something to beat that. But I think it would be amazing to see a full football stadium. So yeah, thank you for reminding me. I'll make that phone call.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what
Yeah.
kind of crowd like this
Yeah.
game or a Bedlam game would draw
Yeah.
in that kind of
Golly,
environment.
that'd be crazy. Yeah.
Chat, and we're good.
Sorry, it's not a Texas question. How have you found balancing Team USA stuff? I know it's not going a full lot, all that, but saw that you guys out there a little bit this past weekend.
Yeah, that was not a smart idea by me to decide to have a camp in the middle of our week before Mississippi State. So we were doing a morning session with USA, OU softball, evening session with USA, come back the next day, same. So we did 2 days in a row of 3-a-days, and then we did a Friday morning with USA softball, and then our game was an earlier start, so I spent a lot of time here, and but it was great. It was great, and I really got to see some players I haven't seen in a while and watch them. We got a lot of metrics and numbers on them, and I think there's I guess the World Game, so your top 8 teams in the world will be in China in August, and we had to make that decision for visa purposes and so forth. So I think by Friday, there's going to be the announcement of who made that team. So there's a lot of people anxiously awaiting, but my days off are no more. I'll say Mondays are not days off. It's USA softball time. So.
Do you think there's gonna be some change with Team USA a little bit because of the newness with you guys in there? I mean,
Oh, yes.
That's a program that's just been, once you're in, you're kinda in, but.
I just really would tell you that what we're trying to do is there's so many analytics we can get on these players. And I just remember in the past, some players wouldn't make the team and they would wonder why. And they would ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. But it made me think, now I do know. I can show you 5 shortstop profiles and yours as a shortstop and say, this is where they have you beat. This is where they have you beat on this, maybe your strength, arm strength, or what have you. And now you can walk away and say, I know what I need to do to get better, versus me saying, I don't know. And so I really want to take a very professional approach towards treating these athletes right, trying to raise money to help these athletes get paid. But we are going to work our tail off. They're going to work probably more than they have ever, because that's the success story in any program is absolute hardcore work. And that's the goal here.
All right, we'll get her back.
Thank you,
Friday.
guys.
Thanks, Patty.
Yeah.